Hey guys, this is Jason from boxprogramming.com. So today we're going to talk about the box squat. We're going to talk about how to execute it and why it's beneficial to your athletes. We're also going to talk about how to scale the movement. The box squat is a really great way to bring up strength in the posterior chain. What we're doing is we're setting up in a really wide stance. We're sitting back on the box, which helps us break up the eccentric and concentric chain of the lift, which then translates to developing force out of the hole, okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to have John demonstrate a few reps. I'm going to talk about the setup, execution, and then I'm going to give you guys some points to scale it for your athletes. All right, so John's going to set up in a wide stance. All right, so a wide stance really helps us direct the focus to the posterior chain. Okay, so a couple things you want to look for is a vertical shin. So go ahead, John, do the first rep. So when John's sitting on the box, his shin is vertical, okay? If your shin is at all pitched forward, then you're really not going to be directing that focus to the posterior chain. So make sure that you're wide enough so your shin is vertical, okay? Go ahead, do a few more. So when John sits back on the box, he's still keeping the spine engaged. He's not letting his back round over. He's staying nice and tight. All right, and let's do one more. All right, and again, he's sitting back. All right, so what that allows us to do, it allows us to break up the eccentric and concentric phase of the lift and not use the stretch shortening cycle. So we're really not using that energy that we're developing by going up and down in the movement. All right, so sitting back allows us to develop that force production out of the hole. So to scale the movement, a lot of times when we do this movement with newer athletes, they have some tightness in their hips. All right, so starting from a higher height makes it a little bit easier. So if you're using an irrigation box, it's 13 inches in height, which is the ideal height. But a lot of times people need to start with around 16 or 17 inches. So what we can do is we can throw on a 45-pound plate and perform basically the same movement, but we have a little bit more height now. It's going to be a little bit more comfortable for your athletes. And it's a better starting point for most people. Technique is still the same. Perfect. Go ahead, rack it. So again, this is a great movement. It can be done for max effort. It can be done for dynamic effort, which is our speed training. It is arguably one of the best movements to develop force production and develop